on the show, go ahead and hit that plus sign. That's how you took it. Okay. So we starting this show off. Okay. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Red Room Talk. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I'm your host, Jen. The Red Room Talk is a show about love, intimacy, and interpersonal relationships, including self, to erase different social stigmas. We are here to have candid discussions and cut through those stigmas to show that in the end, no matter your background, we all have commonalities when it comes to matters of the mind and the heart. Nothing is off the table in the Red Room Talk. Last episode, if you missed us, that's okay. You can find us on YouTube by clicking that link in my profile and subscribing. Last episode, we talked about self-love, but this week we're going to discuss fear with this week's topic, the factor of fear. We have an all-star cast. We have my beautiful co-host, Queen Essence, my always positive co-host, Preach Positivity, and this week's special guest, Solid, respectfully, of course. Let's find out how the panel feels about their fears. But before we get started, all that I ask is you keep your mind open and your language clean. First things first, I'm going to let the guest in the box to introduce themselves, and then we'll get started. As soon as we have my co-host in the box. Oh, I hit the wrong button. Sorry, guys. I keep hitting the wrong one.
Squat.
Why do I keep hitting that? Okay. There we go. Okay. I'm so scared to end the live. Oh, we look so very distinguished tonight, do we not? Hello, everybody.
Hey, Queen.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Phenomenal. Well, we are polite here in the Red Room, so we let ladies go first to introduce themselves. So go ahead, Queen, and introduce yourself. Looking all beautiful tonight with that red lipstick. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you. I'm having some allergy issues. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to another Saturday with the Red Room Talk. I am a little under the weather and completely exhausted, but it's all good because I had a lucrative week. I'm excited about tonight's show. Preach, welcome back, and nice to meet you, Solid.
Nice to meet you too.
All right, go ahead, Solid, and introduce yourself.
Well, I'm respectfully Solid. I've been on the app about a year, a little over a year. You know what I'm saying? Got a lot of things going on, moving around and shaking hands, meeting friends, doing all the shows I can do, get myself out there.
Awesome.
I think that's what's up. What's up?
Appreciate
salute to the room. What's good, everybody? It's Preach Positive here, maintaining positivity and sharing the best way I can. It's another great Saturday, man, in the Rare Room Talk. I'm scared. I ain't gonna lie.
Why are you scared? Listen, y'all.
No, because you know what? It's the because I made a goal and a plan when you said this was gonna be the topic tonight that I was gonna be completely and fully transparent. You know what I'm saying? So I'm over here shaking in my boots right now, but I'm ready.
Oh,
I'm ready.
listen, don't be shaking, y'all. We actually just dubbed Preach Positive to the new second co-host to the Red Room Talk. So make sure y'all give him a warm welcome as our co-host here on the Red Room. Appreciate that.
Appreciate you. I appreciate y'all.
But I am Jen and Juice. I'm the host of this show right here, right now. You guys can catch me every Saturday. You got to say it that way or it does not count. Right here on the Red Room. Or you can catch me on Sundays in alternating lives between me and that number one bubble for Soul Food Sunday, which we'll be doing tomorrow and Wancho Numbers Live this week. And then we will be doing a show every Tuesday also in his live called Wancho Snacks and Juice, where we try the newest snacks and drinks to hit the market, y'all. It's a good time, so make sure y'all tap in on Tuesday. Yes, we've been trying all the snacks. Listen, I love snacks. Snack time, baby. Yes, so make sure y'all tap in on Tuesday, y'all. If you once you get there and you know what I'm talking about, the song, you will forever sing that song even in your sleep. But y'all, we'll go ahead and get started, y'all. What's some of our fears? Our basic survival and pain avoidance. Many fears, as we know, are literally in the mind. How many of you are creeped out by even a picture of a spider? And while there are lots of articles out there which list our fears and phobias, it's hard to find a good article that helps us chunk up those fears into useful categories. If we're to group fears together to try and understand the types of fears we have, what would that look like? Fear of fear probably causes more problems in our lives than fear itself. That claim needs a bit of explaining, I know. Fear has gotten a bad rap, and is not nearly as complicated as we try to make it. A simple and useful definition of fear is an anxious feeling caused by our anticipation of some imagined event or experience. Medical experts tell us that the anxious feeling we get when we're afraid is standardized biological reaction. It's pretty much the same set of body signals, whether we're afraid of getting bitten by a dog, getting turned down for a date, or getting our taxes audited. Fear, like all other emotions, is basically information. It offers knowledge and understanding. If we choose to accept it, and there are only if we choose to accept it, there are only 5 basic fears, out of which most of our all of our so-called fears are manufactured. The first one is loss of autonomy. The fear of being immobilized, paralyzed, restricted, enveloped, overwhelmed, entrapped, imprisoned, smothered, or otherwise controlled by circumstances beyond our control. In physical form is commonly known as claustrophobia, but it also extends to our social interactions and relationships. So the first question I have for you guys tonight is,
what fears did you have as a child, and have you been able to overcome them? Preach.
Here's the child getting a whooping from my daddy. I don't think I had no extraneous fear, like, as far as that. Like, I grew up in tough neighborhoods, like, growing up. So, like, you know, besides regular things like getting caught up with the wrong people, but overall, like, even the streets wasn't intimidated as my parents were. Like, so that was my fear. And yes, I overcame them. Yeah, overcame that for sure.
I'm still scared of my mama, I ain't gonna lie.
I didn't say I wasn't scared of them. I'm not scared. I'm scared of the whoop. I'm still scared of the whoop, and just not scared of them. You know, because ain't nothing I can do with them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I overcame the fear of. You know, still can happen. Still can happen.
That part. Now, for me, it's funny that you mentioned spiders because I'm terrified. Like, you want to see me get up and run and go? You know what I'm saying? Pull out a spider. Like, I don't mess with dudes nickname Spider. You know what I'm saying? We is not about to go on that when it comes to those spiders. And I'm gonna tell you a story where it really kicked in. At was in high school. One of my teammates on the football team, he got bit by a spider, and his legs swelled up like huge. It was big. His calf muscle swelled up big, and they said that spider laid eggs inside of him. And when we cut him open, there was tiny spiders coming out of his leg. So ever since then, I don't play with spiders. We gonna fight. If you do a fake spider, we gonna fight. It's probably gonna be a good deal. It's not funny. Not funny to me at all. Real. So yeah, spiders. And no, I haven't. That fear. Never will. Probably never will at all.
My fear was the dark. Are you afraid of the dark? Yes. But did I watch the show? I did. And the crazy part about it is that I love horror films, right? I'm a horror film junkie, but I absolutely hate the dark, right? So much to the point where I don't like to drive at night. When I'm asleep at night, I have to have some type of a nightlight. Yes, I'm 35 and I have a fucking nightlight. Excuse my French. And no, I haven't overcame it. I do know where it came from, though. So I didn't know until middle school that I was blind. Out of all the great things that my parents' DNA gave me, they gave me horrible vision. And I didn't know this until I put on glasses. And I was like, oh my God, like, hi, Mom. For the first time, I actually see what you look like. Like, what do you look like? So now I tell people like, I was running into this issue where people, I was always like I keep a very like, RBF, it's a rest and blank face. And so people would message me and they would be, or call me and be like, hey, I seen you today. You look right at me. And I was like, did I have on glasses? And they'd be like, no, I didn't see you. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't know. And before they got me glasses, I didn't realize that I had to learn certain significant characteristics about my friends to know who they were at a distance. So like I had to learn people's basically silhouette or hear their voice and be like, oh, I know that voice. I know that person, because I couldn't see.
Wow.
Mm.
So I have a couple of them. So one is the same as solid over here. Spiders is a very big one. But snakes
Oh.
and needles was you would never believe that with all the tattoos they have on my body. But yeah, snakes and spiders and needles was very big for me. Now, let me tell you, as a kid, I hear the story still to this day. I did kick the doctor in the cojones because he gave me a shot. Well, they tried to hold me down, and I kicked him, and then I ran down the hall like a bat. You know, I felt like running. But how I actually overcame that fear, I did not overcome the fear of snakes. I'm still very afraid of snakes, and that is thanks to my brothers and all them for scaring me with snakes and such. But I actually had to spend like 3 days in the hospital. And let me tell you, you get shots like the whole time you're there. So I pretty much, I had to overcome it because you just pretty much are at their mercy at that point. You know, there's really nothing you can do. So that's really how I overcame it. And now I just try not to look. If you got to take blood or give me a shot, I just try not to look. It still bothers me. But it is very different from tattoos. Like I always say, like, how do you have all those tattoos and you're scared of needles? I'm like, it's different, okay? That's the needle I chose, and that's the one I did not choose, okay? You know. But yeah, that's how I overcame that for myself. But I still very much am afraid of snakes. If you come near me with a snake or a bug of any sort, okay? Don't even have to be just a spider, but if anything jumps out at me, crawls on me, and you pretty much know I will be screaming and crying. But yeah. Deep breathing can help? No. The only thing that's going to help is setting it on fire and probably the home with it. You know, whatever insect or, yes, just set the whole thing on fire. But do y'all have anything else to say? No. Okay. If y'all are pulling up, just pulling up. That's okay. Y'all, we have so much more to come. You can find us here every what?
Saturday.
Saturday. Can y'all say? I need to say. Can you say it like that, Solid? We need to know. Oh, he got it on the first try. Okay. Every Saturday right here on the Red Room Talk, y'all. We just discussed what fears did you have as a child, and we were able to overcome that fear. But now I want to dig a little deeper. Y'all, if you were trying to get in the box, please wait till the end. We will take any questions that you guys have. So please don't try to get in the box, okay? But the second fear is mutilation or body invasion. That is the fear of losing a part of our body, having our body's boundaries invaded, or of losing a natural function. This would be any fear where we feel physically unsafe or under attack. Examples of triggers include, in this pot would fall our anxieties with creepy crawlies like spiders or snakes, animals like dogs or sharks, and any animal you believe can be harmful. Also, anxiety about crowds, needles, germs, surgical procedures, or having to make a trip to the dentist. So the next question is,
what is your biggest fear in life, and are you afraid that it might come true?
let's start with Solid on this one. I just want to...
I mean, since we digging deep, I'm gonna be a little more transparent on this one
Sure.
because I want to say that my biggest fear probably is, you know, ending up in prison with a life sentence.
Mm.
You know, I grew up very, very, very self-destructive. You know what I mean? My father was, my father is. My father's a Cuban. That came to the United States in the 1980s. So he most definitely was. He was outside. You know what I mean? He was one of them. So kind of raised me the same way. And I was born in New York in the Bronx, but then we moved to California in 92, 91, 92. We moved to California, and right then and there, first day, introduced it to gangbanging, and that that culture, that lifestyle, led me to just being in and out of prison. I gave the judicial system probably 21 years of my life, so the fat half of my life. I've been out for going on 5 years now. You know what I'm saying? My last sentence was a federal prison sentence for firearms, and it was it was 9.5 years of living in fear. Because now it's a lot of reckless things going on in there. You got to carry yourself a certain way in order to make it out. So I would say, now that I live a different lifestyle, you know what I'm saying? Now that God is leading my life, you know, that's the only thing I can actually rely on to keep me, on solid ground, to keep me moving in the right direction. And it's to the point where that fear is so alive and probably gonna always be alive, because it's not something that I just naturally think about, like, oh, I don't want to go to jail today. No, but you still got to go out into the world. You know what I'm saying? There's still things out there you know, that's not going to be on your side when it comes to that. So I kind of sort of let my reputation precede itself. I don't walk around saying, hey, you guys, I don't gangbang anymore. I don't do this, but I just don't hang out. And I go to work and I come home. You know what I mean? And I hop on live with y'all. You know what I'm saying? But that's the biggest fear, because I was headed in that direction, since 19 years old, in and out, in and out. Five prison terms and 2 violations, just back and forth, in and out. This last one really, really put my perspective in check. So, you know what I mean? That's definitely my biggest fear.
Definitely salute to you. Salute to you.
No, yeah, congratulations for real. That's big. Because I mean,
I'm surprised I didn't cry.
yeah, nah,
I'm surprised I didn't cry.
That's
nah,
something
bro,
to be
that's
proud of. Changing your life around. That's dedication, and we'll definitely love to see that.
man. There's so much that can be said about that. I can't even rant on it, but I'm gonna tap in with and tell you how I feel about that, because that's huge. Is it my turn?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. My biggest fear is my separation with my relationship with Christ. That stems from a lot of different things that I have a fear of. Without my relationship with Christ, that'll lessen my discernment, and that'll heighten the probability of me choosing the wrong woman that I marry. That's my biggest fear, is picking the wrong woman. And then having a child, and then having the wrong child, like the mother of my child. So that's my biggest fear. And I feel like a lot of the things that I do fear stems from my separation of my relationship with the Lord. Yeah, simply put, that's tough. But yeah, that's it.
Go ahead, Queen.
Made out.
Um, this question is a little tricky for me, because I had a week. My week was very, very interesting and very trying. So at 35 years old, I believe that I have gotten all of the worst phone calls that a person fears.
Mm.
I've gotten a call that my mother passed, or that she was passing. I've gotten the call that my younger brother has passed. A sister has passed. My favorite auntie has passed. One of my friends' moms, one of my favorite friends' mothers, had a stroke. She used to be the one that took us everywhere, and now she is paralyzed. Um, Monday, I got one of the most heart-wrenching phone calls of my life. I got a voicemail saying that my son had been shot and they didn't know what was going on. And it put a lot of things in perspective for me, because as a parent, that is the worst thing that you want to hear, right? The very worst thing ever in life. And the way I drove that car so fast to that hospital, hoping and praying and wishing that I could hear my son talk, I damn near lost it. But when I got there and I seen my family looking at me, I felt like, oh no, we're not doing this. We're not crying. We are going to pray. Okay? We're going to pray. We're going to pray right now. We got to the hospital before the ambulance showed up with my son. And I did not shed one tear. And I didn't shed a tear because every single loss that I had taken and I cried about was not bigger than that one. Every relationship that has severed, every job that I lost, even losing my mother could not equate to my firstborn son being taken from me. And his auntie, she's really close with him. She was sitting there, she was shaking, her nerves was bad. And I said, baby, you got to stop. You got to stop, because this is not his calling, right? This ain't for us. So he was able to talk on the phone in the ambulance once they were able to control his bleeding. So he called and he said, Mommy, I'm okay. We're almost to the hospital, right? He was talking, he was breathing. And as a parent, I did not give a damn about nothing else. When I went into that room, my family, we joke a lot. We're a very comedic family. We're very lighthearted. We talk a lot of crap. And how we've always weighed the extent of a person's injuries is, if they are not busting a joke, it's serious. So when they finally let me into the back to see my baby, he looked up, he said, Mom? And I said, yeah. He said, I told you, you ain't raised no bloop. And it just lifted everything, right? And I said, it's not about that, baby. He said, Mommy, they tried to kill me, and I'm trying to graduate next month. I said, baby, but you're not gone. Don't stress it. He said, Mommy, and he started crying. He said, I didn't shed a tear until I could tell you that I was alive. Because the first thing I knew, once I realized I was shot, I said, I ain't even called my mom today. Mm. And just for context, my son was not supposed to make it out of that car. He only got hit in his left lower side, like where your meat is, and the bullet went in and out. It didn't touch a bone. It didn't touch an organ. It didn't touch anything. My son was in a 2-seater car, and they start shooting on the driver's side. He said, Mom, when I seen the barrel of that gun, my instincts told me to jump. And he said he went and he tried to jump into the back seat, and that's how he got hit. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see this, but I just want to share for context how amazing God is.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
And how even the littlest prayer can make the biggest freaking difference. Can you see this? The window is gone. This one has a bullet hole in it. The windshield has a bullet hole in it. The bumper was shot off, and there were multiple calibers of bullets, which means that there were multiple shooters. I lost my mother at 17 years old. My son is 18. The biggest fear I've ever had is leaving my kids to deal with that type of loss, that emptiness of being a motherless child. So at this point in my life, I don't think anything else can scare me. Not even the dark. And to make note of that, I have been sleeping in the dark ever since I got that phone call.
Mm.
That's deep. Definitely.
My God.
God is good for that.
That's like a spiritual growth at the same time. You know,
Thanks.
in a very dire type of situation. That's spiritual growth right there. I commend you for that. Amen. God bless you.
That's powerful. No, seriously.
Powerful.
Mm.
So, for me, my biggest fear in life used to be dying alone, and I think the older I get, because I my father passed. He was single. He didn't have anyone. We weren't. I was the only one in the room with him when he passed, and so I always had that fear. Like, I don't want to be by myself. I don't want to be alone. But now my biggest fear is that I get to the end of my life, right? And I meet Saint Pete, and he shows me the version of myself I was supposed to be, and that I don't reflect that. I think that's my biggest fear, is that I'm not going to end up the best version of who I could have been. And that's my biggest fear. So I want to make sure that when I do things, I always do things with my heart. I always do things the right way, and I always do things the way I'm supposed to. So that way I don't get to the end of my life and regret who I was and who I ended up to be. That's my biggest fear. Y'all making my heart go today, y'all.
No, for real.
But with all this this heat we putting out here tonight, y'all. Don't be scared. Did you just get a little fear? When you hear that sound, y'all, that means we are at our hot seat question segment. Our hot seat question is left up to the fate of the audience. That's right. Don't get scared now. I went to Instagram to ask our peers what they wanted to ask for this week's hot seat question. If you want your question to be featured on next week's episode, make sure that you go to my profile, click that icon, and follow me on Instagram, and look out for that hot seat question post. Now is the time to enter in the comments who on the panel you want to answer tonight's question before I reveal it. Go ahead and enter now.
Don't cheat, Queen.
Solid.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Solid.
Let's go.
Solid.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
You got this. You got this.
You got this. Now you got this, baby.
I think I've seen more solid. You know, it's a solid answer right there. Solid. Respectfully, of course.
Respectfully.
I take one for the team. You know what I'm saying?
This week, actually, my mother entered a question, and she says, if you had the choice to eliminate one fear in your life, that means any fear that you've ever had, what would it be and why?
Oh, that ain't even that hot. Because sitting here talking to y'all, I gained another perspective of another fear that I actually knew occurred. So, I got 4 kids. You know what I mean? And my oldest son, he's 16, and he's so much like me that my biggest fear is that he'll follow in my footsteps. You know what I mean? He was already leaning that way. You know, NOLA, Big Press, they know a lot about that. Like I've went through some things as part of that was like my surrender to the Lord. You know what I mean? Building a relationship, but when it came time to surrender, that was like one of the main things because it was my friends kept telling me, man, you gotta give it to God, because I was in that middle where I moved out of state to bring, to give myself a better chance. You know what I mean? I've been in my city for so long that I moved to North Dakota, um, just on a leap of faith. You know what I mean? And my son at that moment, he just kind of went on one for a while. You know what I'm saying? He started hanging out in my neighborhood. He started, he got caught stealing cars, which was ironic because that was the first time I got in trouble as a youth. I was stealing cars, and I know what we were stealing them for. You know what I mean? So it definitely put me. I was weak. I was like at my weakest moment at that point. Like it was just, it was hard, and it's still hard. Although now, like he doesn't get along with his mom, so he left home. He dropped out of school. He hadn't been to his mom's house in months, and it was killing me. And after I surrendered, and just let it go, prayed one time, let it go. Like I say, 2 months ago, it's been about 2 months. My son reached out to me. He got my phone number from one of my exes, and he called me, and by the grace of God, my son's back in school. You know what I'm saying? He talk every day. He talk every day. You know what I mean? It just is. You know how you be like, man, my kid's always asking for something. I am so happy that he calls me and asks me for money. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm totally like. I'm ecstatic about that, but I also know that he's still in that, he's still in that stage where, things can happen. I know he still kind of, hangs around certain people that I wouldn't want him to, but all I can do is just, guide him with what I know about it. I try to get him out here with me. He doesn't want to do that, but you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna go ahead and, what I did at that moment is I start putting my support system around them out there. Here, text your uncle, text my homeboy, text this person, because I know they solid people and they on solid ground. So at any moment he feels anything, he got people to reach to. So I built him a little community out of the solid people I still got at home. But that's definitely my biggest fear. Biggest one. I go do life in prison before he do. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, that's my everything. My other kids are so, they're less like me. They look like me, but this one, his heart is the same size. You know what I mean? The way he think, the way he move, everything's the same. Like he has that I don't fear nothing. You know what I mean? But I feel like God, I kind of, in my prayers, I kind of ask God to just, show him, give him a spanking real quick, but not too bad. That he'll wake up. You know what I'm saying? And I think it happened. He hasn't shared it with me, but I think it did. I'm pretty sure God, he answers all my prayers. So that's
first of all, that's powerful. But I really quick want to highlight this fact that if he is just like you, I want to highlight your transition to the man you are today. So that's really exciting. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that he's a youth, he might tend to learn a little bit faster than what you did too. So I would hold on to that too, where God is everything, and he'll make.
You know why I see that in my son? Because my son is also a 4.0 student. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So it was kind of like I wasn't like that. I didn't have that part. You know what I'm saying? I carried the bare minimum to be able to play football.
Yeah.
So that's all I cared about. I was in the streets, hustling, doing all that after school. So. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see that. I see that. And I'm glad you highlighted that. Thank you. I appreciate
that. Powerful. Yeah, bro. No, love, for real. Yeah. I knew this was going to be a tough episode.
If y'all are just pulling up, man, you're missing a phenomenal show, y'all. But that's okay, y'all. You have not missed it all. We still have a little bit more to discuss, y'all. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Red Room Talk. Hey, that's strength. That's strength right there. What fears did you have as a child? What fears did you have as a child? Were you able to overcome that fear? What was your biggest fear in life? Are you afraid it might come true? And then we had that hot seat question, y'all. If you missed it, you'll have to check it out on YouTube, y'all. But the third fear is loss of autonomy. The fear of being restricted, confined, trapped, suffocated, or as Dr. Albrecht puts it, the fear of being immobilized, paralyzed, restricted by circumstances beyond our control. When it's a physical fear, it's called claustrophobia, but our fear of being smothered, restricted, unable to take care of ourselves, or depend on others can also apply to situations in our lives or relationships. Examples of triggers include commitment, poverty, debilitating illness, aging, in addition, situations where we feel helpless or powerless. For example, at work, your boss tells you to do something you don't want to do and refuse to discuss it with you. Example, when you have to do it or you lose your job. It leaves you feeling trapped and helpless. Most parents will also feel this fear from time to time, overwhelmed, trapped, and restricted because they have a responsibility that can't be given up. So the next question is,
Have you ever panicked with fear? What happened?
Panicked with fear.
I don't think I panic with my own fear. I think that a lot of, how can I say this? We've been taught a lot of things, and out of everything that we learned from birth till now, we are taught that, or led to believe that money is the root of all evil. And I disagree. I think that fear is the root of all evil. The lengths that people will go when they are scared or affected by any of these categories of fear, that scares me the most. I struggle with that. If this person misunderstands this situation, what are they willing to do to, one, get out of it? Or are they an honest person? Or are they going to take accountability? Because a lot of people, that fear of flight thing, flight or fight, our new fight is gun violence.
Mm-hmm.
People are not getting in the streets and fighting. The fight is the trip that you take to heaven when somebody takes your life.
Mm-hmm.
Some people will take off running. But now we see that these people have been running out of fear that something or someone is chasing them. Kind of like a let me get you before you get me. As horrible as violence is, I would prefer for the children to go back to fighting with their hands, with their minds, with their knowledge. When they asked Solid what fear could he eliminate, I feel like you want to eliminate your son's fear of how great he could be, right? The fear of standing alone, being an island, right? You notice that when something is overpopulated, it becomes less beautiful. But islands remain the same, right? That fear of being not cast out, that's where all of this is coming from. When you are different, like you were put here to be, you're not cast out, you are shining. And when that light sits upon you, people notice it and people fear your greatness. They fear where you can go being out on that island. Because as long as you're in an overpopulated area, long as you fitting in, people know how far you're going. They know what you got. They know what you make. They know what you eat. They know what you wear.
Right.
But disappear and work on yourself. Disappear and know your worth. See, we weren't taught as kids to know our worth. We were taught to be studious be respectful. We didn't start getting into this be yourself until we lived a little bit. We got a little life experience under our belts. I panic that people are so wrapped up in what other people think that they take so much time away from themselves learning their true essence, their true greatness, their true self-esteem, what they really like. Right? Peer pressure, our peer pressure is nothing compared to what these kids face.
Man.
Back in the day, if you didn't want to go, you could walk home and they'd be like, oh, you a mark? Yeah, I'll be a mark, but who was at juvenile hall, me or you?
Yeah.
Now, I'll be a mark, but I don't have that scarlet letter mark on my back. I don't have that target on my back. I don't have that hat where people see me and they be like, oh, you know, he's still.
Yeah, they go Mark.
And something that Solid said, he said, yeah, I was in the streets. I was doing this. I was doing that. And he said, right now, man, a good day at work and going home, having a home, somewhere to call home. People get so mixed up in other people's idea of what home is. Home is a state of mind. A noun is a person, place, or thing, but so is home. I panic when I don't understand how a person doesn't look in the mirror and see that they are blessed.
Definitely.
I can't say I've ever panicked. I can't say that. I can't say I've ever panicked under fear. Well, sometimes we consider it not panicking because I've always just, even before, you know what I'm saying, I was saved and I surrendered. I kind of always knew, like I used to even tell my kids, look, if something go down, call me first. I'll call your mom. You know what I'm saying? Because your mom's going to panic. I'm going to go straight into action. You know what I'm saying? So I guess you can say, I mean, yeah, I don't panic. I go into action. I immediately get the ball rolling and try to figure it out. You know what I mean? And in today's world, I immediately go into praying. You know what I'm saying? And then get to figuring it out because I know the answers are coming. You know, so I'm not much of a panicker.
Yeah, panic is a strong word for the situation, but if I was to get as close as possible to it, I think it comes from relationship. Like I tend to panic when people get really close to me, and I'll have this ability to push them away, or you know what I'm saying, or just be distant to an extent. Like, and plus I've gotten so good with words that I'm able to just respond in a way that makes people comfortable, but they won't dig deeper. You know what I'm saying? And I think that was a comfort area. But that's probably my biggest one. That if someone, because it's crazy too, because when I evaluate it though, I don't have a lot of people that really try to get to know me. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's so appreciative with the character that I presented them today, they just leave it surface level. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I haven't found too many people that want to get to that foundational area of how I made it to the man that I am today. But when they do, I'll never give them a chance to, but I'll find a way to like switch subject, you know what I'm saying? Give them an answer that'll be suitable. Yeah, very much so. But yeah, that's my one. Self-sabotage.
So
That's Jen, by the way.
I tried to get over to this side of the camera so you couldn't see my face. Okay, it was telling, damn it. I felt every bit of every word you said, and I'm sure somebody in this live can probably agree to that. That I also do the same thing. No, not you, Heffel, because you a Heffel right now, okay? But for me, I think one time that I really panicked with fear, I think was before I had my last surgery. I think before I had my last surgery, because like actually not my last surgery, my most major surgery and my last surgery, but going under is really scary for me. Going under going under is really scary for me because I'm always have that fear of like, what if I don't wake up? And so this last time, I remember I panicked so much. They ended up giving me something to calm down. But I remember, like, right before they put me out, I, like, closed my eyes before they even told me to close my eyes to count down. I was like, just, and I woke up. And then I panicked with fear as I woke up because I was in so much pain. I was screaming. They had to put me back out because I was screaming when I woke up. But I think that was, like, a time that I panicked, like, the most was because I knew I was about to go under. And so I just close your eyes, just close your eyes. You got this. Because I felt like, oh my God, what if I made the wrong decision? I just shouldn't have did this, and I should just lived with it. Just. But yeah, that was probably the last time that I really like panicked. I was like, oh. And the fear of going under is very real. But yeah, that was probably my last time that I really panicked with fear. But yeah, y'all have really touched me tonight, Lord, in a lot of places. Yeah. And Queen, you just kick your butt after the show. But if you're just pulling up, y'all, that's okay, y'all. You can find us here every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Red Room Talk. You guys haven't missed it all. We do have a bit more to discuss. We just discussed what fears did you have as a child. What was your biggest fear in life? Have you ever panicked with fear? But now moving on to the fourth fear, extinction, the fear of annihilation or ceasing to exist. This is more than just a fear of death or how we might die. It strikes at the very heart of our fear that we would simply no longer be. Dr. Albrecht calls it existential anxiety. It's the panicky feeling we get if we look over the edge of a tall building or when we think too deeply about a deadly disease. Examples of triggers include the dark, flying, heights, or fatal diseases. So the next question is,
can you tell us about a time in your life when you did something that you feared doing, and how did you feel afterwards?
All right, I can take this one. I used to have the craziest fear of heights. Literally, like I couldn't do a 10-foot ladder. Like I used to be so scared. And then my roommate had turned 25 at the time. I think I was 24. This man wake up and say he want to go skydiving for his birthday. I was like, well, I don't know if this is going to be a hindrance to our friendship, but I'm not finna go skydiving, bro. Like that's dead. He's like, bro, come on, bro. We got to go skydiving, bro. That's what I want to do. And this is back when I used to smoke a lot of weed too. So I was gassed up. Like if there's no way I'm going to be able to do this on a sober level. And I didn't think about how dumb that was, like to be high and go high. Like it made everything worse. But long story short, I ended up doing it, and I realized at that moment just how much power the mind has when it comes to putting something inside of your mind and keeping you limited with fear. Because it wasn't nowhere near as bad as I imagined it to be. You know what I'm saying? And it didn't happen until I hit the ground, because that fall was definitely scary. But it was just like, once I got over the fear in the air, that the fact that I'm falling, I had a moment to really realize just how beautiful this world was, that I can literally do anything that I put my mind to. You know what I'm saying? And that was my transitional moment from like, I could never like, every time I feel like I have a fear, I gotta go try it. I gotta go get it out the way. Cause it's like, I know it's me rather than what it actually is. So that's my one.
Go ahead.
That's a tough one. It's a tough one for me. I guess I can say that my biggest fear that I tackled, I don't know, because I always just thought I was like a Superman or something. You know what I'm saying? I always just had that confidence that, you know, I wasn't afraid of anything, or but I think more so a fear that I'm beginning to get over is, I used to fear that that my kids would no longer look at me as a hero. that they would no longer, take my word for what it is. Because it was moments where, I wasn't there. Being in and out of prison like that is definitely can do something to your kids. And I can, the person that I've become, and that I'm growing into is most definitely deserves to be looked at as a hero by his children now. I can say before I wasn't that. You know what I mean? So I guess that was something that, I feared, and now I'm standing firm on that. I'm standing on solid ground to the point where I know that my babies, they love me to death. They just love my soul. You know what I mean? And it's not going to change.
That's powerful.
I think tonight I've already answered this question. After I basically walked up and faced my deepest fear, I've always kind of had this warrior princess type of mentality where I could take on anyone or anything, and the worst that I could do is not exist, but at least I tried. And it's crazy because a lot of the times I learned some of the fears that I would have had by inspiring or uplifting my friends. I went through a lot before I turned 21, and I don't, it's not fear, right? And I don't necessarily want to call it anxiety. It's kind of like, it's kind of like a hiccup, right? It's like right before you know that it's going to go, and you try to brace yourself, it's like, it's over. And I was very apprehensive about doing this show tonight. Like, I had a lot of anxiety leading up to it because it was talking about fear and the week that I had and all these things. But I think that when Solid was talking, he kind of reconfirmed that we can literally do all things. Mm-hmm. There is not one thing that we cannot do because there is always another way. We may not be able to complete a task the way we thought we were going to do it, but if it still gets done, we always come back to all things are possible. Mm-hmm. Preach said, I can do anything. No, you can do everything. And even though Whitney Houston said, I'm every woman, we are all every human. If any of us get cut by the same knife, we're all going to bleed. Mm-hmm. And it's never been about how low we got. It's always been about how high we went after, how much further we went the next round, right? You said you lost 21 years to the judicial system. You gave 21 years to being somewhat of less than a man. No, you didn't. You gave 21 years to yourself and showing yourself how beautiful of a being you are and how powerful your mind is when you use it for what you need to use it for. We all get weary. We all feel low. We all get sad. And in that same notion, we all have found a way in our lives to inspire, encourage, uplift, and motivate another person. Mm-hmm. They tell you all the time, you never know who's watching, right? You don't. I learned last night in my house that you never know who's watching. Lady came, knocked on my door at 1 o'clock in the morning looking for her dude who was getting his hair done. And when I opened the door, she said, oh, because you could tell by the way she knocked on the door that she was ready for war, right? And I opened the door and I said, hello. She said, is Gerald here? I said, the guy in the cape over there? I said, he's here. I said, would you like to come in? She said, oh, no. I said, no, come on in. Because I heard the phone calls leading up to her coming to the door. And I said, when she came in, I said, well, would you like a drink? Do you drink? You know, do you want a seat? You want to take a seat? I said, he's not finished, but you're welcome to stay until we're done. And, you know, they exchanged words. He was really nervous. He was upset. He was embarrassed. And I said, let me tell you something. I've been that woman. I've been distraught. I've been uneasy. I've been nervous. And I have been insecure. And I've been embarrassed. I looked at him and I said, I've been embarrassed. I said, this young man is here getting his hair done. And if you ever need your hair done, you can have it too. She said, what are you, the mama? Because my best friend was sitting on the floor. I said, no, she's older than me. And she said, okay. She said, what's your name? I said, my name's Queen. I said, Queen Dom. I said, you can call me Queen or Dom, but it's Dominique. And she says, I know you. I said, how do you know me? She said, you worked in a shop before. I said, I worked in a few shops. She said, you worked at Black Magic Hair Salon in San Leandro. I know you. You did my mother's hair. I said, woo, see? So he was upset. He left her here. We sat, we laughed, we drank. And after that, that grown woman who came to my door for war gave me a hug and said, I appreciate the woman in you. I know a lot of people call themselves queen, or we use that word so loosely. She said, but you, I feel it in you. She said, you got a soul. Like, I just felt at ease as soon as you opened the door, and I felt bad. I said, one thing that I feel like the world lacks is human decency. Mm-hmm. And that awareness that anything that you see on the news, anybody that you see struggling, anybody that you see happy, anybody that you see successful, it could be you. The Lord taketh, he giveth and he taketh away. Right? And sometimes we are tested to see how much we want something, but we're also shown how much we don't need it. Mm-hmm. You were, as you put it, in the streets, gang banging. Right? That was your life. That's what you called home. And everybody in this room has seen you redefine, redetermine, and regenerate what home meant to you. Right?
Facts.
We are powerful beyond whatever we see in the mirror and whatever we hear every day.
Facts.
But it's one thing to see it and have it. It's a whole nother avenue to believe it and live in it and walk in it. And once you learn it, to share it and pay it forward.
The only limits we have are what the limits that our mind sets for us.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of, Preach had said earlier what his fear was about relationships. And so, when I got sick, I really reclused. I pretty much didn't leave the house, didn't go anywhere. I really would get anxiety if I would go anywhere, like to a store. I would order my groceries. I would DoorDash if I didn't want to order groceries. I very much stuck to myself, because people really like walked away from me, and it really made me kind of just stay to myself. And the only social interaction I really had was on here. And so, like, a lot of people don't realize, like, this app really saved my life in a big way. But a time in my life when I did something that I feared doing was actually flying here to be with my future husband. And I was scared. Oh, it's 11:03, so I can say I was shitting bricks. Okay, the box is gone. I can say it. I was shitting bricks. I'm not gonna lie. I had the fear of giving my heart away. I had been in an abusive relationship before. I had been married before, and as much as I adored him um and as much as I adored him, I was so afraid also at the same time. Like, okay, what if I come and what if all these what ifs, and so um I actually just did it. I packed up. I came here, and how I think like the moment was because I have this thing like the first kiss is that's it. Okay, that's how I know everything. That's how I know all. If it's gonna be, that's do all, tell all. And I kept thinking like, well, how's he gonna do it? How's he gonna kiss me for the first time? When is he gonna? And I think when he just went right for it, and it was just after that, I think I was fine, and I think like I just like all my fears just kind of went away right there. I was like, okay, we're here, and it was just like over the phone, and so all those months of talking and worrying and like, what if you don't like me or all that just went away, and so and it was just calm after that. But if y'all are just pulling up, you're late. You're really late, y'all. But we do have one more question, y'all. You can find us every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Red Room Talk. We just discussed what fears did you have as a child. What is your biggest fear in life? Have you ever panicked with fear? And then can you tell me about a time in your life that you did something you feared doing? But lastly, I want to know about you. The fifth fear is humiliation, shame, or worthlessness, or what they call ego death. We all need to feel lovable, worthy of love and value in the world in order to have healthy relationships with others and with ourselves. Shame can be an excruciating feeling, something many of us will go to great lengths to avoid. Not only can it leave us feeling physically sick, make our skin crawl, or flush in extremes, give us stabbing pains, we want to crawl into a hole and disappear, but when we are shamed and humiliated, it can threaten or destroy our belief in our worth, or our lovability and value in the world. Without that, we are nobody, literally. The supposed number one fear of public speaking would also fall in this category. So the last question is,
How do you face your fears, or how are you actively working on getting past them?
I'm gonna have to say that if well, I mean, I pray about it. I pray about it. I used to have a really bad attitude. You know what I mean? Like I snap real quick. You know what I mean? I already got that strong, that strong way of speech. That I grew up with my father. Like we Puerto Ricans and Cubans, we talk loud for no reason. You know what I'm saying? For real. So like I got both sides. My mother's Puerto Rican and my father's Cuban. So I got that bad habit. You know what I'm saying? But what kind of put that in perspective is being in relationships. My mouth got me in a lot of fights, and now in today's world, I don't really, I don't like when people do it. So if I don't like when people do it, I gotta watch how I do it. And I've been in, like, when I tell you every relationship I done walked away since I've been home, every relationship been over people not being able to talk to me correctly. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm very cautious. It's a second nature now. I don't just snap on people for nothing. I close my mouth before I say something. So, I think I fear not people not understanding that. I fear people not understanding that part, even though I don't really look to be understood. If I'm not for you, I'm not for you. And that'll come through clearly if people don't respect that about me. So that's it for me.
Well, that's big. Yeah, I can say the same. Prayer is definitely my effective term. I like to keep 2 Timothy chapter 1 verse 7 in my head. It says, "For I have not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind." just remembering that the fear is going to be there. It's what you do in the aspect of, and being brave is not the absence of fear. It's what you do in the presence of it. You know what I'm saying? So it's just having that attack mindset of just doing it. You know, be like Nike and just get out there and do it. So, and they come up, like, I talk a lot and I speak well. I still got a fear of speaking in front of large like audiences. You know what I'm saying? I've had dreams about it. I feel like that's my calling. I'll eventually be there, but I still concept that, and I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? But then I constantly remind myself, is like, I'm not doing anything for me. It's in representation of the kingdom. And then when I can take that weight off my shoulders and I give it to God, and it's like, you know what I'm saying? I can do any and everything. You know what I'm saying? Like Queen reminded me earlier, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, literally. And then, you know, and that's why I love this too. I ain't gonna like go on no tangent, nothing like that, but your community is so powerful, and that's why I love the people that you select on this panel. Jen, you're freaking awesome with the selection that you be picking, man, because this one in particularly, it just reminds me of like I get inspired because I get to see people and I get to be a witness of people doing these exact same things. That we are going to have these hardships, and that there is an ability to overcome, and every aspect of that overcoming is going to look different, but we can learn from each other. That genuine iron sharpens iron, and I ain't never even met respectfully before, but I can't wait to talk to this man again. You feel me? So there's it's literally just that, being like Nike and just do it and keep the Lord first in everything that I do.
Yeah, do it.
For real.
I really despise Preach, who just found out today that he is my future husband. Ever since he put that bun in my head, he put a lot of things in his head. It put a lot of things in perspective for me. And it's so crazy.
Not the bun.
As I was here, and I know that we're nearing the end of the show, I literally was going to say that. I was going to say that it sounds so cliche, but my closing message to the panel and the audience tonight was going to be to just do it. Don't second guess it. Don't wonder about it, because one, I will say it week after week, we are only in competition with the best version of ourselves. Amen. Right? Because we are the only person we see in the mirror. Mm-hmm. And Romans 15:15 says, and quietness and trust shall be your strength. I've always been taught that the loudest person in the room was the weakest.
You better come through with that Bible, girl.
That part.
And now that I literally have gotten all of my fears faced, I don't have to work on how I'm going to overcome them, because I know I will.
Amen. Come on.
So I'm going to walk into everything with my chin held high and give it my very, very best. And if I fail the next time, I'm going to give it my next very, very best.
Mm-hmm. It's training.
So fear not how you fall.
Mm-hmm.
But be eager to learn how you get up.
Yes. Ooh.
Let's go.
Hold on. One more time.
Let's go.
Not how you fall, but be eager to learn how you get up.
Whew. So, how I face my fears is I put myself right in harm's way, not literally, but I just jump. I just do it. I guess that's what I do. I just do it.
There it is.
I put myself in a position to have to face it, and a lot of times it's just a leap of faith. Literally a leap of faith, and I'm like, you know what? We just got to do it, you know?
Facts.
I understand the word Nike actually means victory. So.
Oh, wow. How about that? Look at that. I'm getting all kinds of gems tonight.
Yes. But how do I actively work on them? Even some of my fear, therapy. I'm in therapy. I work through some of my fears even in that way. And even talking about it sometimes is a fear. To talk about something that you fear is a fear itself sometimes. Like, I don't even want to talk about it because it's facing it. That talking about it is facing that fear sometimes. Mm-hmm. But y'all, let me just tell y'all. I be hating this show every week.
Man,
I'm like, I want to do it. And then y'all remind me of why I do it every week. Every week, y'all remind me why I get here and I hit that button. And I'm telling you, as soon as I hit that button, it's like, I'm here and I'm here for a reason. And y'all put the icing on the cake of why I'm here. This was a beautiful panel. I appreciate each and every one of y'all. But every week we come to this place of healing, if you will, and preach. It is so funny because I'm telling you, this show, it was meant for a reason, because you were telling a story earlier, right? And you're gonna say you're gonna know exactly why in just a moment. But I'm gonna do my quote a little different this week. And preach, I can't stand you. It's your fault. I tell them that every week. It is your fault. So this is actually the quote for the week. Hold on, let me it's a video. I can't stand you. Just let me reiterate that. Oh, hold on. No, don't do it. Don't do it.
Hold on, I'm on the show right now.
Skydiving is a really interesting confront. So you get onto the airplane and you're sitting there and you know, it's extra because you're sitting on some dude's lap, a stranger. So you fly and you go up to 14,000 feet and the guy walks you up and you're looking down.
Yes, bro.
Terror. They say on 3, 1, and he pushes you on 2 because people grab on 3. And you fall out of the airplane, and in 1 second, you realize that it's the most blissful experience of your life. You realize that the point of maximum danger is the point of minimum fear. And God placed the best things in life on the other side of fear.
Oh.
I just got goosebumps. I really just got goosebumps because while you were telling the story, I already knew this video was coming, and I have goosebumps literally right now. I have hairy arms, so you can tell. But I literally just got goosebumps because I'm telling you, I'm telling you, God sets things in place to happen the way they happen, and tonight happened for whatever reason. All of your stories have brought something to me tonight. And when you were telling that story, I was like, oh my gosh, he doesn't even know that this is the end of the show. Because I don't let them in on everything, okay? I don't tell them everything. They know a little bit, but they did not know that. And so the fact that you told that story and that was the video and just the context of everything tonight, y'all, you rock.
That's crazy.
We all rock
here
tonight. We all rock.
Facts.
But yeah, y'all, this has been the Red Room Talk, y'all. This has been my favorite one. I say that every week.
This is one for the books for real, though. This is definitely one for the books for real.
But this is honestly one of my favorite ones. I say that every week too, but y'all, seriously.
Before you close it though, I really do want to leave with like this last little this scripture, because I think in the midst of fear, I think this is a great way to try just to put things in perspective, right? Romans chapter 12, verse 2. Queen brought this to my mind when she brought up Romans. But it says, do not be conformed to the patterns of the world, but instead be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you face a fear, literally get to the point where you just...
of a lot of Romans.
Yeah. It's literally that, though. You know what I'm saying? When you're facing anything that might be an intimidation or fear, something that makes you nervous or something new, you know what I'm saying? Just do your best to change the aspect of the way you're thinking about the situation. Because our first thought is usually one that's going to push us away from the things. And I'm speaking to myself. This is how I know God be talking. You know what I'm saying? Because I just said the same thing, and it can be applied to me when it comes to relationships. I can't control people's actions, but that should not be the fear that I create to push people away. You know what I'm saying? So just stay on that, y'all. Practice Romans 12 too.
Y'all, this has been the Red Room Talk. We're going to go ahead and let y'all give your outros. Of course, we're polite, so we'll go ahead and let Queen give her outro, and then we'll move on to Solid, respectfully, of course, and then we'll preach. But, man, this has been awesome. Awesome.
So good.
I think that you guys know my name. We've been here for an hour.
We know your name.
If you come back every week, you'll get more and more ways to say it and remember it and spell it and pronounce it. I don't have anything going on because I hate it here. And if it wasn't for I do want everyone to take some time this week and call the people that you haven't talked to. I want you to call them. And even if you have nothing to say, I want you to tell them that you love them. Because that is something that I hadn't told my son in over a week. And for his last moments, if that's what we were experiencing on Monday night, I wanted him to know how much I loved him. And even if he felt like he was inadequate, how much I was proud of him. Right? And I think that as friends, as a relative, as co-workers, as acquaintances, we don't compliment people or acknowledge the growth that we are witnessing, the evolution of them. And sometimes they need to hear it. My grandmother told me, she said, I won't never push y'all to call me, but when you call me, I'm going to answer. We need to be better people. We need to stop being afraid of what being a good person can do for another person. This world that we live in now lacks kindness. It lacks empathy. It's always lacked common sense, but it's even lower now. Each one, teach one. We can start the difference that we want to see with one phone call.
Amen. Well, I'm respectfully Solid. You can catch me streaming on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I got a show called Solid Ground. On Solid Ground, I like to give my guests a moment to shine the light on a dark place they may have been but climbed out of. Also, leave us with positive affirmations at the end. Also, on Tuesdays, I have Bible study at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And on Thursdays, I have a kind of free-for-all panel called Our Turn to Talk Respectfully, where it's your turn to be heard. On that panel, it's basically a design that, me and my family put together in order to, put in efforts towards breaking that barrier of improper communication between men and women. So, y'all make sure, fave me up. If y'all want to anybody want to be a part of the panel, you can reach out to anybody in the Respectfully family or myself personally. Thank you. I appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you also.
Word. Man, this is my favorite one. Like, this is my favorite one for real.
My favorite part of the show is Preacher's Bun.
You're right. I'm yellow where I brush easily. Okay. No, this is Preach OQP. Positive OQP stands for only quality people. This is not to say that I am not a fan of people who are not of quality, but there's another line that goes with it in this KYP. That's to know your personnel. You know what I'm saying? It's so important just to know the people that you're associating yourself with, man. I'm coming back home. I ain't streamed in a minute on here. I've been doing other things, but I'm coming back. I plan on, especially now that I'm met Respectfully, I feel like I gotta come back. You feel me? It's funny too, man. This is like actually meeting you, and I ain't gonna, get too soft with it, but I've been praying for a community of brothers. You know what I'm saying? The women, they attract easily and they speak well, but it's rare that you can find a community of men that speak well amongst each other. You know what I'm saying? That can uplift and motivate each other to do exactly what we need to do as men, so we can be an example to the younger men. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that I get to meet, and I've been prayers. I see you in the comments too, big dog. Like literally answer prayer. You know what I'm saying? My brother Wancho, I know he in here too, man. But it's slowly but surely that organization of men has just been coming into my life, and I can't do nothing but thank God for that opportunity to just be able to do that, iron sharpen iron, so we can be that asset to the community, because we need that. We know the lack, we know the problem, but we here. You know what I'm saying? So we get to get excited because we know that transformation is going to come because we are here. You know what I'm saying? And that's my heart. You feel me? So I appreciate it, Jen. You're amazing. You know what I'm saying? This platform that you created has been nothing but amazing because every show, I get to learn something. You know what I'm saying? I develop appreciation for people even more, and I love people. You know what I'm saying? So I love y'all. Appreciate the comments. Y'all are dope. Queen, I put this blend in for you. I ain't even gonna lie.
She said that bun bunning. She said the bun is bunning.
The bun is funny.
Y'all,
I've been on the bun
Jen
since I've been
and
posting on Instagram.
Juice. I am Jen and Juice, y'all. I'm the host of this show. Y'all, you can find me every Saturday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on the Red Room Talk, y'all. Before I even tell you about the rest of my shows, y'all, make sure you go to wanchojuice.com, y'all. That is the merch page. I'm wearing a custom Wancho Juice jacket right now. Go to wanchojuice.com or wancho.juice on Instagram, y'all, and get you some merch. But also pull up tomorrow to that number one bubble. Make sure y'all hit him with the fave. We're doing a show. It's called Soul Food Sunday. We're actually having a fun episode tomorrow. We're gonna play Would You Rather, so make sure y'all pull up and have some laughs, y'all. I'm excited about it. While we make some food and have some good conversation. So make sure y'all tap in. And then on Tuesday, we got an episode of Wancho Snacks and Juice where we try the newest snacks and drinks on the market. Some are good, some are bad. So bring your trash bin. You know, bring your appetite, but bring a trash bin just in case. So make sure y'all tap in on Tuesdays. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and I would say play a little ditty, but no ditty. We'll just a little tune. You know?
Yeah.
Sounds production.